I'm just going to sum it up here because, like all the listeners, do your thing if you're into kind of true crime or take a look. But to summarize what we know, okay? So, your dad was murdered in his home. He was found, slumped over his desk. There was a gunshot wound to his abdomen, went into his thigh. There wasn't a whole lot of blood pooled. His filing cabinet and safe. His filing cabinet was rifled through. The safe was kind of butchered with a with a shears, but wasn't got into. There wasn't much valuables taken from the home. Reports of a car burglar around that was kind of dressed almost as an Eastern Europe hitman. There was theories then around, Russian mob involvement over paintings, but they remained on the wall. There was DNA found at the scene, but the DNA hasn't flagged. But whatever the system they use, which is very, odd if you imagine this is a kind of career criminal that would be in burgling houses. So there's so much information here, and it's just trying to piece it together in the right way. And maybe, look, some listeners, this has a big reach in the US, this podcast. There might be I'll actually try to get a way to put up the sketch as well. You just never know. I think I'll put that out and maybe on a short. But, anything I missed there, anything you want to add to that as well? There's a lot of threads. We're just not finding a way to tie them together, maybe.
Well, a couple things. So first of all, I thank everybody out there for their interest. This is what keeps crimes it just reminds police forces everywhere that there's a family and there's a community that cares around the world about bringing justice, right? And so that is something I thank everybody for. And the second thing is, as you said, this show has a lot of reach. And, if this was the young man, the young man who was breaking into cars, somebody knows something, right? That night, somebody might be like, well, yeah, there's a kid who lived next to me, a couple blocks from your dad. And he came home that night and he was in a pool of sweat and then he moved to Georgia. Okay, well, yeah, that could explain a lot, right? So if somebody knows anything, please let us know. You can find me pretty easily online, and we appreciate everybody doing whatever they can.